Hey guys, welcome back to Rusty and Nelly's Jungle. Today is a potting day, so we have the two variegated burle Marx that we got about a month ago and the paraiso verde. They are all ready to be potted up in soil. Their roots are overtaking these little cups. I am going to start with the variegated banana that we just picked up, just because the sphagnum moss is great and everything, but it was kind of an overnight solution so that we could pick up some more soil today to get this done. So we're gonna start with her. She's a little sad. She got a little bit chilly last night. Just gonna go ahead and make a big old mess because she's got a ton of roots. I'm gonna mix a little bit of the sphagnum in with this just because they do like to be a little bit more moist than the philodendrons. Oh, maybe she didn't need that little piece of toilet paper still. Sorry, I was talking to myself there. Now the soil mix that we do for our tropicals so that they drain really well, I would normally use the Pro Mix HP. I ran out of that, so we just picked up regular potting mix. Added some extra perlite to it. Threw in some of the orchid mix and a little bit of earthworm castings for good measure. Banana is potted, ready for her watering in. I'm gonna find somewhere a little bit warmer to keep her. All right, eeny, meeny, miny, I choose you. Yeah, definitely ready to be repotted. I don't know if the plant's dying the sphagnum green or if the sphagnum's just coming back to life with being watered. When they're wound up like this, I like to make sure that the roots are nice and loosened so that it knows that it's supposed to spread out and fill in its new pot. That is not an impatient job. That is a very careful, patient job. Don't want to break all these new roots that you've been working so hard at growing. All right, so this is the first one. Got all the sphagnum off it, or at least as much as we can. Well, I lied, there's one more piece. All right, so let's get her potted up. Get her roots spread out so that she knows she has somewhere to go. Oh, look what I did. I'm potting in the thing that I was scooping with. All right. So I did put a little bit of soil in the bottom. And then I just like to put enough in there to get it to stand up on its own so I don't have to hold it anymore before I make sure that it's lightly tucked in, and then add enough to top it off. One variegated burle Marx. And I only got one leaf dirty this time. Second burle Marx. Check out those roots. She was definitely ready. Ooh. Actually, she's got a big enough root system that I'm gonna give her a slightly bigger pot because I don't want to stress her out by having to repot her again in like a month. Just enough to hold it up straight. And then you can adjust exactly if it's still a little bit too high or too low. You can adjust where it is in the pot before you start tucking everything down. Once the soil is packed down a little bit, you risk damaging the roots by trying to jiggle it around. Because I know the soil is going to sink down a little bit when we water it. And yes, anytime you repot anything, water it in. It tells the roots that it's supposed to wake up and reach out to grab onto that dirt to get itself settled in there properly. And we can do these smaller pots for the paraiso verde, because they just have some itty bitty root systems. If you take a look, you can see that it was a stem cutting. So it does have this little part here that we don't want to bury. We want that end to be able to poke up out. But we do want this little root on this side. So we will weigh it down with some soil on that side to kind of teach the root that it's supposed to grow down and not up. But we don't want this little stem to rot, so we're not going to bury it. I feel like Laura Eubanks with her succulents. If it stands up, you've done your job. Give this one a little bit of support here. Now, when you do pot something like this, I do stress, put a little support in for that branch. That tiny little root system is nowhere near enough for the plant to be anchored well enough to hold up these heavy stems and these huge leaves. So you want to take a little bit of the stress off of the plant and give it a little support stake just until it gets better situated and those roots fill out that pot so that it can anchor itself. On the other one, again, really itty bitty. Oh, really itty bitty root system. See, I thought the rest of that sentence in my head. I didn't share it with everybody else. This one's gonna need a little support stake as well. I feel like the one we just took may have been from this one. All right, there we go. All 5 plants potted up. I'm gonna get these watered in. Now, when you do water them in for the first time, make sure that you're soaking it all the way through so that the water is running out the bottom. You want to make sure that you're saturating all of the soil. The problem if you just give it an itty bitty tiny little drink, worrying about overwatering it, is that you risk the soil underneath becoming super dry and becoming hydrophobic, which means that it's never going to hold enough moisture for your plant to absorb the nutrients and liquids that it needs in order to strive and be its best. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and have a great night.